Life has a way of surprising us, doesn't it? Just when everything seems to fall into place, the unexpected strikes. A lost job, a broken relationship, or a dream that slips through your fingers. It's tempting to feel like the universe is working against you, leaving you overwhelmed and unsure where to turn. But what if I told you there's hidden wisdom in these moments? You see, the times when life feels like it's falling apart are often the ones that shape us the most. They hold secrets about resilience, spirituality, and even prosperity. Lessons that aren't taught in schools or shared in everyday conversations. Most people don't realize it, but these challenges could be the key to unlocking inner peace and abundance. What if you could navigate life's toughest storms with the calmness of a Buddha, seeing every setback as a step towards something greater? Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose and trust, no matter how chaotic things seem. It might sound far-fetched, but it's not only possible, it's within your reach. In this video, we're diving deep into the hidden truths about life's struggles and how to find meaning, hope, and spiritual growth when everything feels uncertain. By the end, you'll have powerful tools to transform pain into progress, fear into faith, and setbacks into stepping stones for prosperity. But let's not waste another moment. Ready to discover the wisdom that life's challenges are trying to teach you? Let's get started. Disappointments. Don't they seem to find everyone, regardless of who they are? That's because they do. From the wealthiest tycoon to the dream-chasing artist, everyone grapples with moments where life simply doesn't cooperate. Perhaps it's a business deal that crumbles after months of effort or a friendship that fades unexpectedly. These experiences are universal, reminding us that no one is immune to life's unpredictable nature. Yet instead of being discouraged, recognizing this commonality can be strangely comforting. Picture this. Someone spends years working toward their dream job, only to realize, once there, it's far from what they imagined. It's easy to feel like life is conspiring against them. But this isn't life singling anyone out, it's just life being life. Think of the Buddha's teachings. Suffering is a part of existence, not a punishment. This truth connects us all, whether someone is chasing prosperity or simply seeking peace. Disappointments can sting, but they also teach. A failed relationship, for example, might feel like a dead end, but it could also be an open door to self-discovery. Reflecting on what went wrong, not through blame, but with curiosity, can transform pain into a stepping stone toward greater abundance in the future. Those moments of failure often contain seeds of wisdom, waiting to bloom when nurtured. Real life is often messier than the success stories we hear about. Behind every tale of triumph lies a trail of disappointments. Think of a billionaire who lost their first company, or an author whose manuscript was rejected dozens of times before hitting the bestseller list. The common thread? They didn't let setbacks define them. Instead, they recognized disappointment as a temporary phase, not a final destination. Even in spirituality, the idea of perfect fulfillment is a myth. People often turn to religion, expecting all their problems to vanish. But what Buddhism, for instance, really offers is a framework to understand and accept life's ebb and flow. Disappointments in this light aren't enemies. They're opportunities to cultivate resilience and deeper understanding. Imagine reframing failures as lessons handed to you by the universe. Here's a thought experiment. What if life gave you everything you wanted, right when you wanted it? It might sound like bliss, but would it truly lead to happiness? Often, the journey, the struggles, the surprises, and yes, even the disappointments is what shapes the richness of life. It's in navigating these unexpected twists that people often discover their true wealth, both spiritual and emotional. Embracing life's disappointments doesn't mean lowering your expectations. It means broadening your perspective. A bad day, week, or even year isn't the end of your story. Think of it as a page in a much larger book. And if that page feels particularly heavy, have you ever caught yourself thinking, "This shouldn't be happening to me"? It's a natural response when life doesn't match our expectations. But here's the twist. The pain often comes not from the event itself, but from the gap between reality and what we thought should happen. Unrealistic expectations can act like invisible chains, tying us to frustration and disappointment. Recognizing this is the first step to freeing ourselves. Imagine planning the perfect vacation. Picturesque sunsets, flawless service, endless relaxation. But then it rains all week. The hotel mix-ups keep piling on, and you come home feeling more exhausted than before. The problem wasn't the rain or the chaos. It was the expectation that everything would go perfectly. The Buddha taught that clinging to desires causes suffering, and this applies even to everyday moments like this. People often expect relationships to meet every emotional need, careers to bring endless joy, or wealth to solve every problem. But life isn't designed to fulfill every wish on demand. Take relationships, for example. Expecting your partner to never make mistakes is a recipe for resentment. Instead, shifting your mindset toward understanding and mutual growth can lead to deeper connections and less disappointment. One way to avoid the trap of unrealistic expectations is to adopt a mindset of curiosity rather than certainty. For instance, instead of assuming that a promotion will make you happy, ask yourself, what else might bring me fulfillment? This open-ended approach allows you to explore multiple paths to abundance and prosperity, without pinning your happiness on one outcome. Social media makes things worse, doesn't it? Scrolling through perfect photos of people living seemingly perfect lives can fuel expectations that are far from realistic. But those snapshots don't show the whole story. For every photo of wealth or success, there's often a behind-the-scenes struggle. Understanding this can help you embrace your own journey without the pressure of comparison. Here's an exercise. Think of one area in your life where you've set sky-high expectations. Now, break it down. Ask yourself, why do I expect this? Is it because of what I truly want, or because of what society, family, or friends have taught me to want? By questioning the root of your expectations, you can separate genuine desires from external pressures and lighten your emotional load. Unrealistic expectations don't just cause pain, they can block growth. When you demand a specific outcome, you miss the beauty of what's unfolding. Letting go of rigid desires creates space for something even better to appear. After all, life isn't about getting exactly what you want. It's about discovering what you truly need. And sometimes what you need comes disguised as failure. Let's explore that next. Success. It's the ultimate goal, isn't it? Yet, not every success is worth celebrating. Sometimes, achieving a goal can lead to unintended consequences. Think of someone who lands a high-paying job only to realize it demands every waking hour, leaving them drained and disconnected from loved ones. Success without balance can rob you of the very prosperity and happiness you are chasing. Consider this. A lottery winner suddenly finds themselves drowning in wealth. At first, it feels like the ultimate dream, but many of them report losing friends, falling into debt, or feeling empty after the initial excitement fades. It's a stark reminder that wealth without the foundation of emotional and spiritual stability can amplify problems rather than solve them. Buddhism teaches that attachment to outcomes can cloud judgment. For example, chasing career success at all costs might lead to burnout or strained relationships. A promotion may seem like a win, but if it requires sacrificing your health or values, is it truly a success? Real wealth lies in aligning your achievements with your well-being and purpose. In another light, some failures can be blessings in disguise. Imagine someone starting a business that flops. While it's painful in the moment, that experience might teach them invaluable lessons that lead to their next venture's success. Sometimes life protects us from success that could have caused more harm than good. It's all about perspective. Reflect on a time when you reached a goal that didn't bring the fulfillment you expected. Maybe it was buying a luxury item or getting that prestigious title. The high wore off quickly, didn't it? This doesn't mean success is bad. It means success must be paired with mindfulness and clarity. When you chase what truly matters, success feels richer and more lasting. Here's a practical way to evaluate your goals. Before pursuing a dream, ask yourself, what will this cost me emotionally, physically, and spiritually? Write down the potential gains and losses. If the losses outweigh the gains, it might be time to rethink whether that goal aligns with your path to prosperity and inner peace. Success isn't always what it seems, and failure isn't always what it feels like. Both have hidden layers of wisdom waiting to be uncovered. Instead of chasing every opportunity, pause and reflect. Does this align with your values? The more mindful you are about what success means to you, the more likely you'll find joy and balance. But what about the role of effort and destiny in shaping outcomes? Let's dive into that next. Have you ever wondered how much of your life is shaped by destiny and how much by your effort? It's an age-old question that stirs both curiosity and debate. Some people blame fate when things go wrong, while others credit hard work for every success. But the truth lies somewhere in between. Life isn't just what happens to you. It's how you respond to what happens. Take a farmer planting crops. They can't control the rain or the sun. Those are governed by forces beyond their reach. But they can till the soil, plant the seeds, and nurture the land. Similarly, life brings challenges and opportunities, but effort determines how much you can reap from them. Prosperity and abundance often grow from this delicate dance between destiny and effort. Blaming misfortunes entirely on fate or karma can feel like an easy escape, but it also robs you of power. For instance, if someone fails an exam and chalks it up to bad luck, they miss an opportunity to improve. By taking ownership and studying harder, they shift the narrative from being a victim of circumstances to an active participant in their success. Even spiritual teachings don't support blind reliance on destiny. In Buddhism, karma is not a punishment. It's a principle of cause and effect. Your actions today shape your reality tomorrow. So while destiny might open the door, your effort determines whether you walk through it. This perspective can transform challenges into stepping stones toward greater wealth and spiritual growth. Think about athletes or artists who excel in their fields. Sure, some might argue they were born with talent, but talent alone doesn't create success. It's the relentless effort, the hours of practice, and the refusal to give up that make them great. If you've ever doubted your ability to achieve something, remember, effort often outweighs what seems like destiny. Here's an exercise. The next time you face a setback, pause and ask yourself, what part of this was out of my control, and what part can I influence? Write it down. You might find that even when fate plays a role, your choices and actions can still turn the tide. This balance empowers you to create your own prosperity, even amidst challenges. Destiny and effort aren't rivals, they're partners. Recognizing this balance lets you embrace life's unpredictability while staying grounded in your ability to influence your path. When challenges arise, don't just surrender to fate. Ask yourself what you can do to shift the outcome. But sometimes, even the most determined efforts don't yield results. That's where the art of letting go comes in. Let's explore that next. Control. It's something many of us cling to, often without realizing it. We plan, strategize, and try to mold life to fit our desires. But here's the hard truth. Not everything is within our power. Life has a way of throwing unexpected twists that force us to confront our limits. Learning to let go isn't about giving up. It's about trusting that some forces, whether you call them fate, God's will, or Yuanfen, know better than we do. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. Stress rises and you grip the wheel tighter, as if sheer will can clear the road. It doesn't. But what if, instead of resisting, you took a deep breath and accepted the situation? Letting go doesn't change the traffic, but it changes you. That calmness can be the key to finding solutions, or simply peace amidst chaos. Both Buddhist and Christian teachings offer profound lessons on surrender. In Buddhism, there's an emphasis on non-attachment, accepting that desires and outcomes are impermanent. Christianity echoes this with faith in divine will, trusting that God's plan unfolds as it should. These teachings aren't about passivity. They're about aligning with life's flow instead of fighting it. Letting go is especially powerful in relationships. Have you ever tried to change someone, only to end up frustrated? Whether it's a partner, friend, or family member, the harder you push, the more resistance you meet. Instead, consider accepting them as they are, while focusing on what you can control, your own actions and responses. This shift can create space for genuine connection. In practical terms, letting go might mean releasing your grip on a dream that no longer serves you. For instance, if a business idea isn't working after countless adjustments, walking away can feel like failure. But it's often the first step towards something better. Letting go doesn't mean you're quitting. It means you're making room for new opportunities to grow. Here's a simple exercise. Think of one area in your life where you're holding on too tightly. Maybe it's a goal, a relationship, or even an old resentment. Close your eyes and imagine physically placing it into a flowing river, watching it drift away. This visualization isn't just symbolic. It's a reminder that some things are better left to higher forces. Letting go is liberating, but it also requires faith. Faith that life's impermanence holds promise, not just loss. When you release control, you open yourself to possibilities you might never have imagined. After all, everything in life, from joy to pain, is transient. And understanding impermanence can be one of the greatest sources of hope. Let's delve deeper into this concept next. Everything in life is in constant motion. From the blooming of a flower to the rise and fall of empires, nothing stays the same. This concept, central to Buddhism, is encapsulated in the idea of impermanence, or Zhu Cheng. It's a truth that can be unsettling at first, but when embraced, it becomes a source of strength. Why? Because it reminds us that hardships, like all things, are temporary. Think about the seasons. Winter may be harsh and unforgiving, but it always gives way to spring's renewal. Similarly, your struggles, whether financial difficulties, heartbreak, or loss, are not permanent fixtures in your life. Just as the Buddha taught, understanding impermanence helps us detach from suffering and find peace, even in the midst of storms. The transient nature of life applies to wealth too. Take the story of a successful entrepreneur who lost everything in an economic downturn. At first, it felt like the end. But that loss pushed them to rebuild with a wiser perspective, ultimately creating greater prosperity. Impermanence doesn't mean you'll always lose. It means there's always potential for renewal and growth. Impermanence can also be a reminder to cherish the present. How often do we rush through life, taking people and moments for granted? Knowing that nothing lasts forever gives us the nudge to express gratitude, say, "I love you" more often, and savor even the simplest joys, like a warm cup of coffee or a shared laugh with a friend. Even pain, which often feels endless in the moment, is subject to this universal truth. Think back to a time when you experienced heartache or failure. It felt overwhelming, didn't it? But eventually, you healed. That experience shaped you, but it didn't define you. Understanding this can help you face current challenges with resilience, knowing they too will pass. Here's a practice you can try. Spend a few moments each day reflecting on something in your life that has changed, whether it's a relationship, a career, or your own perspective. Write down what you've learned from that change. This simple exercise can help you embrace life's ebb and flow with gratitude and openness. Embracing impermanence doesn't mean letting go of hope. It means recognizing that every ending carries the seeds of a new beginning. Wealth, youth, and even hardships are all fleeting, but that's what makes them meaningful. With this understanding, you can approach life with greater ease and courage. But how do we ask for guidance amidst this ever-changing journey? That's where prayer comes in, and we'll explore that next. Prayer isn't about demanding specific outcomes. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of life. Many people approach prayer like a wish list, asking for things to go exactly as they want. But true, purposeful prayer is more flexible. It's an act of trust, a way to open yourself to what's best for you, even if it doesn't match your expectations. Imagine a child asking their parent for ice cream every day. A loving parent might say no sometimes, not out of cruelty, but because they know what's healthier in the long run. Prayer works similarly. When you ask for something, trust that the answer, whether it's yes, no, or wait, is part of a bigger picture designed for your growth and prosperity. Buddhist teachings often emphasize setting intentions rather than rigidly clinging to desires. For example, instead of praying for a specific job, you might pray for the wisdom to recognize opportunities or the courage to navigate challenges. This approach shifts your focus from control to clarity, helping you align with abundance and spiritual growth. Flexibility in prayer doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means refining them. Let's say you're working toward financial prosperity. Instead of fixating on a single path, like a promotion, pray for guidance, resilience, and insight. You might find doors opening in unexpected ways, leading to even greater wealth than you'd envisioned. Have you ever experienced a moment where things didn't go your way, only to later realize it was a blessing in disguise? That's the beauty of purposeful prayer. It helps you trust the process. When life says no, it might be redirecting you toward something better. Keep this in mind the next time you face a setback. Here's a practical exercise. Write a flexible prayer or affirmation for your current goals. For example, instead of saying, "Please let me get this promotion," try, "Help me grow in my career in ways that align with my purpose and bring prosperity." Read it aloud daily and notice how it changes your mindset and actions over time. Purposeful prayer connects you to a higher force, reminding you that life's twists and turns aren't random, they're part of a larger design. When you embrace this mindset, you're not just asking for what you want, you're opening yourself to what you need. But how do we avoid misunderstanding these spiritual teachings? Let's explore that next. Religion and karma are often misunderstood, leading to confusion and even unnecessary guilt. How many times have you heard someone say, "This must be karma," after facing a setback? It's a simplistic way to explain life's complexities, but it misses the true essence of spiritual teachings. Karma isn't about punishment, it's about growth through cause and effect. Think of karma like planting seeds. Each action, word, or thought you express is a seed that can grow into something positive or negative, depending on your intentions. Blaming misfortune solely on karma overlooks the bigger picture. Sometimes, life's challenges are opportunities to learn and evolve, not just payback for past mistakes. Similarly, many people misunderstand religion as a set of rigid rules or rituals to appease a higher power. But at its core, religion is a guide, a compass to navigate life with wisdom and compassion. Buddhism, for instance, teaches mindfulness and self-awareness as tools to break free from suffering. These teachings aren't about fear, they're about empowerment. Consider the example of wealth. Some believe spiritual growth and prosperity are at odds, but that's a misconception. The Buddha never said wealth was wrong. What matters is how you earn and use it. When wealth is pursued with integrity and generosity, it becomes a tool for abundance, not a source of greed. Misunderstanding karma or religion can also lead to fatalism, where people stop trying because they think their fate is sealed. Imagine a student who fails an exam and says, "It's my karma to be bad at school." This mindset prevents growth. Instead, spiritual teachings encourage self-reflection and effort, recognizing that past actions may influence the present, but today's choices shape the future. Here's a practice to deepen your understanding. The next time something challenging happens, pause and reflect on it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And how can I respond with integrity? This approach shifts your focus from blame to growth, allowing you to use spiritual wisdom as a tool for empowerment, not limitation. Understanding religion and karma as dynamic forces of growth, not punishment, opens the door to resilience and hope. These teachings remind us that we're not powerless. We have the ability to create a better future through conscious actions. And speaking of hope, there's one more key perspective to explore: how change itself can become a source of empowerment. Let's dive into that next. Change can be daunting, but it's also one of life's greatest gifts. No matter how difficult things seem, nothing stays the same forever. This truth is a cornerstone of hope. When you embrace change, you open the door to transformation, letting go of what no longer serves you and making space for new opportunities to thrive. Consider the story of a caterpillar. It spends its early life crawling, never imagining what lies ahead. Then comes the cocoon, a time of stillness and struggle. When it emerges, it's a butterfly, capable of soaring to heights it never dreamed of. Life's challenges often work the same way. They're the cocoon stage, preparing you for your next flight. Change doesn't always come easily. Think about someone who loses a job. At first, it feels like the end of the world, but that loss can spark reflection and push them toward a career they're truly passionate about. Embracing change means recognizing that even setbacks can lead to breakthroughs when viewed with the right perspective. To navigate change, focus on adaptability. Like a sailor adjusting their sails to match the wind, you can align your actions with life's shifts. This might mean learning a new skill, taking risks, or rethinking your approach to relationships or finances. Adaptability isn't about abandoning your goals. It's about finding new ways to achieve them. One practical way to cultivate hope through change is to journal. Write about a time in your life when something unexpected turned out for the better. Reflect on how you adapted and what you learned. This practice not only builds gratitude, but also strengthens your belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. Change is often the birthplace of abundance and prosperity. A seed must break open to grow into a tree. Similarly, life's disruptions often pave the way for spiritual and material wealth. When you embrace this mindset, you begin to see every challenge as a stepping stone toward something greater. Hope through change is about trusting the process, even when it's unclear where it's leading. Remember, life's impermanence isn't a curse, it's a promise that better days lie ahead. Now that we've explored these profound insights, let's bring it all together in a way that inspires and empowers you to act. You've just uncovered powerful insights that can transform how you navigate life's challenges. But knowing this knowledge is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you apply it to your everyday life. So, how will you use these teachings to find peace amidst chaos and abundance in the face of hardship? What if you began seeing setbacks as opportunities for growth? How might your life change if you trusted that each difficulty is temporary and that better days are ahead? Now is the time to embrace these ideas with an open heart, to take bold steps toward prosperity and inner peace. If you're ready to turn this wisdom into action, take a moment to reflect. What's one small change you can make today to shift your perspective? Perhaps it's practicing gratitude for the present moment, or adjusting how you pray for guidance. Whatever it is, start today. Before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How has this video inspired you? Drop a comment below and share your experience. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more content designed to help you thrive. You've got the wisdom, now take the next step toward transformation. I can't wait to see where it takes you.